guys. The Crypto.com performance bonus winner of the night, Isaih. Two other bonuses were Darren Godfrey and Wes Mina. They all won $10,000 crypto from Crypto.com. Congrats to them. Who's got the first question?
Dana, first of all, just give us your reaction to the main card. Obviously, you had a couple of draws there. I'm sure that wasn't what you were after.
You know I love that shit.
Yeah.
One of the things that we got to fix, the crowd started chanting one more round. I don't disagree. Right. But it's something that we'd have to get, we talked about it backstage, and we'd have to get the regs changed for that.
So is that a
Tough does it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the Ultimate Fighter, if you don't win the fight, we go to an extra round. Nobody wants to see a draw, and nobody definitely wants to see two of them. Yeah. The worst thing than a draw is two draws.
I would imagine in this sport specifically, not even MMA, but this sport, a draw even makes sense, right? Because there is just a simple way to fix it, just one more slap. I'm sure that's what you can do. Is that just a commission issue? That's something you have to get.
That's a commission. We'd have to get it fixed, and we would have to change the regs.
Did you see the main event as a draw, or did you think it was a clear win? How did you view the main event?
I think that we all had it different. I think all of us had it different. Yeah. I had it different than Frank had it. And I don't know how Hunter had it, and I don't know how anybody else had it, but how'd you have it? You're a slap professional. Come on.
Yeah, I think a draw is right.
Yeah? Very diplomatic of you. He's got a slap news site. He doesn't want to pick a winner.
He knows already. He doesn't want to pick a winner and get the loser angry at him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at that, though, the fact that people can score it differently as proof to the doubters that, hey, this sport has variety in it, right? If we're all scoring it differently, that means it's not as simple as just a slap across the face and you can only view it one way, right?
What's the question?
So if the fact that all of us are scoring it differently, that means in power slap there are different ways to win, and it's not just as simple as one guy slaps another guy.
100%. Well, I think, the criticism it took in the beginning was, lots of different. First of all, only the knockouts are anything anybody's interested in. Actually taking the slap, the kid who fought tonight, what's that thing up to, Frank? 1.4 billion views? Yeah, his last slap is at 1.4 billion views. So it's more than just knockouts or whatever. It's just everything with this thing goes viral. It's crazy. I mean, we just posted one on mine a little while ago. It's at 1.4 million views already. This shit just goes crazy.
Well, speaking of numbers, actually, I was going to wait for a little while, but PFL guy Don Davis brought up numbers.
That guy's hilarious.
He said that his event last Saturday with Francis Ngannou beat any event with the numbers, beat any event the UFC have put on this year. I'm curious if you could disagree with that, and how does it even compare to Power Slap, the PFL numbers?
Yeah. First of all, the PFL should keep the UFC out of their mouth. They can't even deal with Power Slap. Power Slap destroys PFL. All right. It's weird that you asked me that question because I just happen to have some papers here. First of all, let's start with followers. Power Slap has 19.2 million followers. The PFL has 10. Video views. PFL Fight Week did 326 million. Power Slap 8 did 690 million. Okay. PFL Fight Week Instagram views, 76 million. Power Slap 9, the week of. This is, so if you look at PFL, the fight week and the aftermath, these guys had 76. Just the week of, they had 68 million on Power Slap, okay? And we haven't even had a fight yet. PFL's Instagram reel with Francis and Ronaldo did 14 million views. Power Slap's 9 Instagram reel with contender Isaih had 22 million views. And that was a repost of an old fight. The repost of the old fight beat Francis and Ronaldo. I can keep going on for a fucking month here. And then if you want to get into what he said about the UFC, I have a laundry list here. But let me just start with this. UFC Vegas 84 at the Apex. beat them. So listen, I understand, and I love the stuff that he said. He sounds like Kamala. Talks a lot, but says nothing. And I would hate to be one of that guy's investors. I don't watch MMA. I've worked 7 years and haven't taken a vacation. You should probably take a vacation. You're out of your fucking mind, dude. You should probably take a vacation.
What I was going to say.
I have a list here. I will have Lene get you guys this list of all these numbers, but that guy shouldn't even mention the UFC. He's not even in power slaps. And then he was talking about, there's all kinds of combination packages and how all this works. He doesn't beat power slap in revenue. He doesn't beat power slap in ticket sales. He doesn't beat power slap in sponsorship. He doesn't beat power slap in anything, let alone the UFC.
So curious, just based on that, if I were to ask you what's your favorite MMA fight of all time, would you have an answer for me?
If you asked me what was...
If you have a favorite MMA fight of all time, would you have an answer for me?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough to do. I mean, coming off 300, every time people ask me stuff now, I think of Holloway and Gaethje coming off 300. But yeah, there's a ton that I could tell you.
Okay.
It's obvious this guy isn't an MMA fan, and he's acting like he's some fucking great businessman. He does not sound like a guy that I would want to invest my money with. But good luck to his investors.
And last one for me, obviously, some people don't read into this. I like to read into this. You were there at the face-offs today with Max and Ilya, Hamza and Rob. You're at the press conference. Did you get to pick up on any vibes for this fight week, and how they're all feeling, how they're all looking?
I think I feel the way that you feel and all the fans feel. Both the co-main and main event are a coin toss for what could be fight of the year. And the main event, I mean, it's impossible for that fight not to be absolutely incredible for as long as it goes. Hamza and Whitaker, I don't know. They both got the wrestling, the striking, and I don't know. That's a fascinating fight. I can't. In those two divisions, you can't make two better fights than those right now. I mean, they're literally incredible fights.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Coming overseas, incredibly hard on your team. We had some fights that didn't fall through for this, but give me your overall opinion on the card from start to bottom.
Yeah, listen, I love this card coming into it. The thing about power slap and traveling and, it's all a work in progress. Like tonight, we get 2 draws on the main card, Didn't see that coming. Now we got to figure out how you fix that, and that doesn't happen again. And I love the fact that the crowd wanted to see one more round. So while it sucks to have it, it's all positive. It's all good stuff.
Absolutely. We've seen you live stream the early prelim fight. Is that something that we could see more of going forward?
I don't know. I was just in the mood to do it, and it ended up being great. So it worked out.
I mean, Darren Godfrey started out with incredible KO to start the night. You really can't ask for a better way to start it. Was that who you were referring to with the 1.4 million or billion views?
What's the question?
Darren Godfrey, the first fight.
Yeah.
Was that the video that you were referring to, the knockout?
Yeah. No, it's who? Yeah.
Gotcha. Darren Godfrey was from season 3 of Road to the Title, as well as James
what's the other?
Siekmann.
We got that one that's 1.4, and what's the other one? There's 2 that are in the billions. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, again, if you guys want those, I'll have. There's some of the numbers in here, but some of the numbers on Power Slap are ridiculous. What's the total views now? Is it 9 billion? It's over 9 billion views. This thing's 18 months old. Go ahead. What's your next question?
Awesome. Isaih Quinones defeats John Davis, who is the longest reigning champion. Do you think that's great for Power Slap? The Puerto Rican pretty boy.
What's the question?
Oh, just sorry. Do you think Isaih is going to be a great ambassador for the middleweight division?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's what I told the guys that we were sitting with tonight from Abu Dhabi. Guy's the longest reigning champ. Been in it since we started this thing, and it was a huge upset and a big win for him.
What's next for the crazy Hawaiian and Dumpling? Do we see that immediate rematch?
Don't be the MMA guys. This thing just ended. I have no idea. Okay? You are fitting right in here, my brother. I have no clue.
All right, Power Slap 10, they announced 3 title fights for December 6th. How excited are you for that card?
Yeah, listen, every time this is the first time we've been out of Vegas. I love the new vibe that we have at Fontainebleau. The last event was absolutely insane. It's fun, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Yusuf here. I would like to ask about flinching, the rule to get 1 point deducted, and the athlete needs to slap you again. Don't you see that's a tough punishment for flinching?
Gets a point deducted and then he gets to slap again. Don't you think that it's a tough punishment for flinching?
Instead of a warning.
Hey, listen, if you don't flinch, right, and the guy gets to tee off on you, then it's your turn and he flinches, you absolutely get another slap. It is absolutely fair. Yes.
Okay. The second question, in case Max Holloway wins his fight against Topuria, shall we expect a 4th fight against Alex Volkanovski?
I don't know, sir. We're going to have to see how it plays off on Saturday and how it goes and who wins. And I don't know. I couldn't answer that question until it happens. I have no idea.
Okay, last question. Most of the MMA fans dream about seeing a fight between John Jones and Francis Ngannou. What do we need to have in this world to make this happen?
I think fans are dreaming about John Jones and Tom Aspinall. That's the fight I think they're dreaming about.
Yes.
I think that if Stipe wins the fight or John Jones wins the fight, the way that both of those guys are wired, I think they fight Aspinall. So we'll see.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, right here. Just going back to the draws, the 2 fights that were a draw were the fights that this card was kind of billed as. Does that just even make it worse?
Well, yes. What's worse is those are the 2 fights everybody bet on. You know what I mean? So in Vegas, literally all up and down the strip, I don't think there's one casino that you can't bet on Power Slap. And then downtown, half of the downtown have the odds too. And the 2 fights that everybody's going to bet on was the main event and the Page fight. So, yeah, it's just everything about it sucks.
And then, given the sport is so new, we don't really have like other promotions for people to come over, like Michael Chandler, MVP Kit, and Kayla Harris. Like Dumpling was kind of that first name that was famous outside of Power Slap that came in. And then obviously the Crazy Hawaiian was like established. He called himself the best Power Slap athlete of all time. Can you kind of compare this to maybe a moment in MMA that, like we don't cover Power Slap all the time, we cover MMA all the time. Is there an equivalent to
There are there are other leagues out there, and more are popping up since we started this. 2 have popped up in Brazil since we started Power Slap. And when you think about it, I was literally just telling the story the other day. When we first bought the UFC, I was flying to Hawaii like twice a month and going to Northern California for shows. I mean, the only place they were holding events was that I could see was in Hawaii and Northern California. And the pool was not deep. But listen, there's money in this now. You're starting, guys are fucking slapping with Travis Scott's on now, for Christ's sakes. That shit didn't exist 18 months ago. You know what I mean? Most of these kids are buying houses, paying their cars off. There's money in it. So what you're going to start to see happen is, let's say you're a D1 college player and you didn't make it to the pros, or the list goes on and on of people who still want to compete athletically. There's money in this, and you're going to see people coming.
Would you recruit guys? Like the WWE sends recruiters to Division I schools and kind of scouts people like that. Is that something you would ever do?
It's sort of already happening. I mean, people, is Erica in here? Yeah, Erica is our. Come here, Erica. Step up here. So this is our matchmaker for Slap, and how many people reach out to you? I mean, you get thousands of people that are reaching out to her to Slap. So yeah, there's no shortage of people that want to get involved.
And then just last one for me, MMA related. I know we talked about like Don Davis and the numbers and everything, but just as like a fight fan, what did you make of Francis's performance, given everything that's happened to him in his career, the 2 losses in boxing, the loss of his son?
It was better than Don Davis's. Way better. Listen, man, I think that I'm going to tell you what I think about what Francis is all about the money. Francis left because he knew that if he fought John Jones and didn't win, it would hurt his chances of making the money that he wanted to make. But realistically, his deal was bigger here. His deal was bigger here if he stayed in the UFC. I think I've told this story a million times. They can deny it all they want. Why the fuck would I lie? What do I care? It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I was going to cut Francis when he lost 2 in a row. I was going to cut him.
That was after the Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
fight.
Somebody around here begged me not to do it. And, so it wouldn't have mattered to me one way or the other, There's a much deeper story to this whole thing. And he would have made more money if he stayed in the UFC. So he didn't want to fight John Jones. That's a fact, my friend. We're moving on. Obviously, everybody loves Tom Aspinall and wants to see Jones and Aspinall or Stipe and Aspinall. And I feel like when Stipe and John were young, John was 23, youngest champion ever in UFC history, and somebody gave him an opportunity. And I think that Stipe and John, whoever wins, should give Aspinall the same opportunity they had.
So all these rumors of John and Stipe both retiring, have you talked to them about that at all? Or you just hope
I think that both John and Stipe will say they're going to retire because they're going to start negotiating, and whatever the negotiation is, we will get the deal done.
Dana.
Yep.
On your left, right here.
Yep.
Right after this decision in the final fight, you spoke briefly to Dumpling through the translator. Can you tell us what did you guys talk about?
What did we want?
Did,
Dumpling said, "Are you going to be around tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Will I see you?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "I got you a present." I said, "Oh, that's nice of you." That was the extent of our conversation through a translator.
Any plans to host the rematch in Abu Dhabi or in Saudi Arabia in the coming tournaments?
I don't know. Yeah, we gotta figure out how this is going to play out, and obviously we got some regs to fix when we get home. I don't know yet.
And I also wanted to ask you about the fighter who you brought up on the stage during the press conference. What is your plans for this guy?
Yeah, so I am going to looking for a fight TV show that I do on YouTube with Matt Serra and Dean Thomas, and the Korean Zombie has his own fight league. He started his own promotion, so I'm going to go do an episode of that in December in Korea, and I'm gonna put that kid in the show, and we'll watch him fight. I'll pay for the fight. I'll let Mick or Sean make the opponent, and we'll give this guy a fight and see what happens.
And I also spoke to this fighter today, and he said he's willing to fight on this card if anyone pulls out. He fights in lightweight, and he said, I'm even willing to go down to featherweight. Would you consider bringing him up in here? No?
We'll see him in Korea. Yeah. I mean, if the kid wants to come in here, we're giving him an opportunity. He stood up on the mic today. He's getting the opportunity. Train. Let's get you an opponent. Train the right way. Fight. And see if you can make it into the show. This will basically be like a Contender Series fight, except in the Korean Zombies promotion in Korea.
All right, thank you so much. One more question here.
Yep.
Dana.
Yeah.
One more question about John Jones. In your pound-for-pound list, he's number one. So, but on the paper, it's Islam Makhachev number one. What should Islam do or achieve to overcome John Jones in your pound-for-pound list?
Yeah, I understand. What should he do?
Yeah.
Just keep doing what he's doing. You just keep doing what you're doing. He hasn't done it as long as John Jones has, and he hasn't done it as consistently as Alex Pereira has. I mean, really, when you talk about now, if you guys argued with me and said, we think you're wrong, we think Alex Pereira is number one and Jones is number two, I could probably live with that. And I know it sounds like I'm shitting on him, but I don't. I love Islam. He's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He fights everybody. I'm just being honest.
It seems like...
And if you look at Pereira, he moved from middleweight to light heavyweight and has been absolutely dominant a weight division higher. And he's even considering going to heavyweight. So when you talk about what pound for pound really means.
Дэна, можно вопрос?
It seems like Islam Makhachev will rematch Arman Tsarukyan in January. If it's so, considering the fact that their first fight was in Russia, and considering the fact that two Russian guys in the history of the UFC fighting for the belt, maybe you are considering to do a media tour in Russia. I just wonder.
Doing a media what in Russia? Media tour.
Yeah, considering the fact that two Russian guys actually fighting for the UFC belt.
Yeah. Possibly.
Dana.
Да, еще один вопрос. Да. Дэна, я видел сегодня на вашем мероприятии был Абдурозик. Нету мысли сделать противостояние, которое никто не смог сделать. Абдурозик против Хазбулы. Я думаю, те просмотры, о которых ты говорил в начале, они взлетят в космос, если этот матч состоится у вас.
I saw that Abdurozik was at your party. There was a match that was supposed to be made between Hezbollah and Abdurozik. Nobody was able to make that fight. Would you be the person that will be able to make this fight finally happen? Because the fans will absolutely lose their mind if that fight finally happens.
But do we really want to see those dudes fight? I mean, come on. Come on.
Just slap.
Huh?
Power slap.
You're all sick fucking individuals, okay? Every one of you in this room.
Dana.
No, sir. The answer is no. I would not make those guys fight.
Нет, они не будут биться.
Дэна, еще вопрос. Не боитесь ли вы то, что сегодняшняя ситуация с этими парнями из Таджикистана создаст прецедент, и в дальнейших турнирах также будут бойцы просить у вас поединки, потому что огромное количество людей смотрит и как бы тут, что называется, за слова притянули?
Are you afraid that what happened today with the Tajiki fighter will become a precedent and other guys will do the same thing? Now that you gave somebody a chance this way, will other people just say, oh, I can just show up, ask him for it, and he'll give me a chance?
That's my life. I mean, I run into people always in the friggin' mall, you name it. If I'm anywhere in public, somebody grabs me and says they got a guy. And it's that's what we do for a living. That was just I mean, it's never happened before. I guess it has happened before. People have asked me, yes, it will happen again. I probably won't react the same way, or I might. I don't know.
Это вся моя жизнь, поверь мне. Везде, куда я хожу, куда бы я ни заходил, всегда кто-то ко мне подходит, говорит, у меня есть кто-то, кого я знаю, кто очень хороший боец. Но, в принципе, да, оно произошло сегодня. Может быть, это был какой-то момент, когда у него просто это получилось. Оно обязательно, по-моему, никогда этого не было еще до этого. А может быть, и было. И, скорее всего, случится еще раз. Но как я отвечу, я не знаю, это зависит от ситуации.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Going back to what you just said about the pound for pound there, does Islam not get more credit for beating Charles Oliveira, who was number 3 pound for pound, and then Volkanovski, who was number 1 pound for pound at the time? Does that not put more weight? I don't think any of Alex's wins were against anyone ranked on that.
Any of Alex, yeah, but he was fighting a guy a lower weight than him, not a guy higher weight than him. When you actually move up, when you think about what pound for pound means, right? What would happen if you weighed, 155 pounds and you faced a heavyweight? These guys are actually moving up in weight, not moving down in weight. And yes, Islam beat him. And one of the fights, many people thought that he didn't win that fight, with a guy who was lighter than him.
Islam seems to really want to go to welterweight. So would you give him that opportunity, maybe if he gets through this next one?
Absolutely.
And going back
to... listen, and let me just say, you don't need to defend it. I love Islam. I love the kid. And I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying what the pound for pound really means is, if you look at what Alex has done. And again, John Jones, I mean, come on. John Jones is undefeated. He's never lost a fight in the octagon, ever. So it's just hard to fuck with.
Going back to the flinching thing, it seemed like the fouls were inconsistent, though. Like, I looked at some of the Paige Van Zandt slaps and she got hit, and they felt like flinches. And then you watch some in the later matches and they get called. Do you think that's a problem, the consistency of the flinching fouls?
Could not agree with you more. We were talking about that tonight. I'm like, that was a flinch, and we're looking around, and here's the other thing. We're out of Nevada too. You know what I mean? Really, Nevada has been sort of the guys who have helped build the sport as far as the regulations and the rules. And we had a lot of guys here from Nevada, but we didn't at the same time. I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
Do you want Paige back?
Paige?
Yeah.
So after Paige's last fight, I met her out in the hallway. I was like, you did great. She goes, I want to fight in the next one. After tonight, she went back in her locker room, texted me immediately and said, I want to fight in the next one. So, yeah, I'll fight Paige as much as Paige wants to fight.
Gotcha. And two more things. Since we last spoke to you, there was a preliminary approval of the antitrust suit. And I know you had said to Kevin Iole a few months ago that you were disappointed it didn't happen last time and wondering if there was a personal history. Are you pleased to see this decision?
Yeah, obviously, listen, this has been one of those things that I haven't dealt with at all. The lawyers deal with that. But yeah, of course, I'd love to see it settled. Yeah.
And you read some of the testimonials that were turned in from the fighters, like begging for this money and saying like what, how bad they needed it. And, you kind of think of just the sport as a whole and how it goes further on. Is there any way, I guess, the next generation of fighters can avoid being in these positions with, health
No, I mean,
issues
if you think about back then, if you look at some of these guys that are in this thing, some of them are when we were in the hole, however much money. And it's like the early days of baseball. Like the money that's being made now is much more than the money that was made then. 10 years from now will be the same as today. You know what I mean? There'll be more money then. It's just, and you can't control how people are going to spend their money. It happens in the NBA. It happens in the NFL. It happens in Major League Baseball.
And just last thing, Merab Dvalishvili just tweeted to Sean O'Malley, "See you in March."
Who did?
Merab.
Okay.
And we all thought it was going to be Umar, and there's rumors he might fight Song Yadong. Can you tell us what's going on? Is there a possibility for a rematch with Sean, or do you still want Umar and Merab?
I think that's them doing their own thing. We haven't made that decision yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's them. That's him calling him out.
Yeah, previously you mentioned PFL, and I want to ask you last question about PFL and Bellator. Actually, Bellator has a lightweight undefeated champ who is Umar's sibling, Usman Nurmagomedov, and Khabib's cousin, unbeaten guy. Maybe you guys interested in the future to sign him somehow? I don't know.
He's saying that they have
in PFL and Bellator. There's you mentioned it earlier. PFL and Bellator. In Bellator, there's an undefeated champion. He's the cousin of Umar Nurmagomedov. His name is Usman Nurmagomedov. Okay. Are you ever interested in signing him?
I mean, all their good people want to be over here anyway, so I would imagine that eventually, yes, they will be here. Nobody wants to fight in the fucking PFL, except for Francis.
Please, last question, Dana.
Yeah.
Сегодня в сторис Дональд Трамп закинул Хамзата и сказал «great fighter». Не означает ли, что он будет поддерживать Хамзата в этом бою? И как ты думаешь, если он станет президентом, может решить он проблемы Хамзата с выездом в Америку?
So today, Donald Trump in his stories put up Hamzat and said, "Great fighter." So do you think he's going to be rooting for Hamzat in this fight? And if he becomes the next president of the United States, can you finally solve the visa problems with Hamzat?
Yeah, he hasn't had any real bad visa problems, Hamzat. We've had Hamzat in the States. I don't know what Hamzat was really talking about in that, but he was basically like, when Donald Trump wins his fight, I'll come fight. And I think that's what he said.
It was Trump who put Hamzat in and said, "Great fighter."
Huh?
Trump featured Hamzat in his story.
Yeah. So, but Hamzat had said that in an interview that he did with Kevin Iole, and then Trump retweeted it. Or did I? I don't know. No, I think Trump did, right? Yes. Trump retweeted it? Yeah, and then I retweeted Trump. I don't know. We all did some fucking tweeting, and anyway, Trump retweeted his thing, and I don't even know what the fuck your question was anymore. What's the question?
Will Trump support Hamzat in this fight?
I'm sure he will. I don't know who he's rooting for. I think he liked what he said. I don't think he's biased one way or the other for Whitaker or Hamzat. He thought it was nice of him to say, so he reposted it.
В общем, получается, что, во-первых, у Хамзата нету особых проблем с визой, да, потому что он был уже в Штатах, то есть то, что он там сказал в интервью, это не совсем понятно. Потом получилась куча всяких ответов насчет кто кого ретвитал, кто в кого поставил в social media, но, скорее всего, Трамп будет, да, поддерживать, он просто поставил, потому что это был хороший жест, Я не думаю, что он будет поддерживать одного или того, но я думаю, что он просто надеется, что будет отличный бой с Витакером.
But Trump is a huge fight fan. I mean, he watches all the fights. He'll be watching on Saturday, and like we were talking about again, the co-main and main event are so good.
Трамп огромный фанат боев, он обязательно будет смотреть этот чемпионат, и главное событие — офигенный бой.
Have a good night, you got one? No? Have a good night, you guys. Thank you. I don't know what's happening. Here we go. Hello.
Check, one, check.
One.
Hey, James, first off, congratulations. I know you had to overcome a lot of adversity for this one. Tell me, how good does it feel?
It feels okay. I wanted to knock out. I got up there and the box is much smaller than it was at my last fight. You can't be as far back. I think they need to deepen the box, or it's going to reduce knockouts for tall people. And I don't think that's something they want. So I think they need to make the box bigger again. I think they widened it and shortened it, but the shortness isn't good. So that was kind of disappointing. I'm happy for Nate. It wouldn't have been good if he got knocked out again. So I'm happy he didn't. Not happy that I didn't get a knockout, but I'm happy for him. Yeah.
I mean, you predicted a round 1 KO, didn't go that way. Did Nate's toughness surprise you?
It surprised me, but my inability to connect surprised me more.
Gotcha. Coming over here, different culture, different time zone. Talk to me about how difficult it was for you, to be able to travel here and perform.
I don't think by the time we had to perform, I was fine. First 4 nights, couldn't sleep too well. Maybe had like 12 hours to sleep in the first 4 nights. That was kind of rough. But other than that, I think the main thing was the size of the box. I couldn't step as far back. When I line up, I don't have a bend in my arm. I wasn't able to do that, or I was too deep on his cheek and I'd hit him deep here where it's not going to do damage. So instead of just like letting the whip happen and throwing like I normally do, I'm trying to guide it, and I was losing balance, you could see. and I wasn't making good connection. So that was kind of frustrating.
Coming off road to the title season 3, taking out number 2 in the division. Do you think you're ready for a title shot? They announced Damien DeBell versus Dorian Perez at Power Slap number 10. Do you think you are in line and ready for that shot, or do you want another match and not rush into it?
I would love that match next. I would like the box to be bigger, but I think that all the heavyweights that are my size, and Damien is my size, will kind of have to make adjustments. But it also depends on the style of swing. I would love that fight next. I think I set myself back a little bit by not getting the knockout. So that's kind of disappointing. But I think I'm more ready than any other heavyweight. I think that Dorian will get knocked out somewhere around round 3 or 4. I don't think he can go rounds with the belt, and I don't think he's a clean enough fighter to beat him in points if he was able to withstand getting knocked out.
One last one for me. Road to the title 3 contestant, Darren Godfrey, took care of business in the opening match of the night. How excited are you for him?
I couldn't have been more excited for him. I was absolutely ecstatic. That was a nasty knockout. It looked great, and couldn't be happier for Darren. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Just want to say one more thing. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for everything. Appreciate you guys. Love you.
Just a question.
Oh, yeah. I'll answer a question.
Hi, James. Yusuf here.
Hey there. How are you?
Congratulations for the win.
Thank you.
As a first time, I ask questions related to Power Slap. Tell me what motivates you to participate. Is it the satisfying feeling when you slap someone, or the money, or what?
For me, it's not the money. I want the championship. I got addicted to watching it, and I was like, okay, I can take these guys out. I didn't sign up because I thought I'd be good at getting slapped or good at slapping. I've taken some severe beatings in my life, and I don't go out. So no one's ever going to knock me out, and that's why I signed up for this. Just turns out I can slap people pretty well, but I'm here for the championship. Money's cool. I want a lot of it. Give me all of it. But, that's not what I'm here for.
My final question. When your opponent is going to slap you, what is your thought process? What do you think? Am I going to be knocked out? Or how do you motivate yourself just to stand at that moment?
I'm kind of lucky that my reaction time's slow, so I don't flinch. Otherwise, because in real life, I have a real big flinching problem. But I'm thinking there's no chance you're going to knock me out. Can't take me out. Hit me. That's what I'm thinking. And I've never taken any damage, no headaches, nothing. So it seems like the best sport in the world for me. It feels like it was built just for me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Isaiah, congratulations. The fight went exactly as you predicted it would. What made you so confident going into this one, considering John Davis has never been knocked out?
So said it the best. I mean, he said I have a coconut head. I knew that was going to work to my advantage. I knew he wasn't going to take me out. But I knew I just had to dial it in like I did before. Unfortunately, it's on the third time every time, but I'm trying to get it to where it's at that first time. But I just had to dial in the range and dial in on his chin.
You just became the first Puerto Rican Power Slap champion. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I'm so proud. It's awesome. I mean, I'm so happy to represent Puerto Rico like that. And I knew I was going to be the first one to take this middleweight belt away from John.
It looked like John hurt himself on the very first slap. Did you see that in his eyes?
I saw that. As soon as he looked at me and I saw him grab his shoulder for a second, I knew he was hurt. But I thought he was going to switch it up and go with the left. So I was surprised he kept going with his right.
Was there anything that surprised you in that match from John?
No, John is super strong. I saw it in his past matches against Wesley and Isaih, but I just knew that my chin could hold up to it.
After seeing Isaih's performance here tonight, do you think he's a worthy contender for you to defend your title for the first time?
Oh, absolutely. And I know that's going to go the distance for sure, because, I mean, he has a chin on him too. Even if you drop him a little, he has like that zombie where he walks and like wakes right back up as soon as he just dips down a little.
Awesome. Thank you.
Was it tough? Because, you know, when we spoke earlier in the week, you and John, you know, you guys did a little skit together. You were very cordial together. Like, to see someone that you don't have ill will and you actually have respect for just kind of go out like that, was outside of winning the title. Was it tough just kind of doing that to someone else?
It was tough seeing him on the canvas like that for sure. I wanted to check on him, but of course I know I had to back up and not go on the other side of the canvas. But yeah, definitely I was glad he got up and, you know, he was okay afterwards.
And how was the crowd in Abu Dhabi compared to Vegas?
Oh, it was amazing. Honestly, like at first a lot of people doubted me, but the love here was awesome. People yelling out my name, and honestly, the love I was getting on my side of the stage was awesome.
You going to get back to the States in time for the World Series?
Oh, absolutely.
How many Yankees fan, correct?
Yep.
How are they going to do it?
Oh, Yankees going to win for sure. I think Yankees going to go at least. No, I want to say clean sweep. Yankees going to do clean sweep, but we'll see.
Good. One more question. Sorry.
Yep.
Hi. You took part in some slap competitions before with Dumpling, so you've known him even before he made his debut in Power Slap. What was your impression of him before and now?
Dumpling is actually the reason I got into this. I tried out on the same show he was on, and when I saw the video that they posted to start advertising for people to come out, I knew I wanted to be part of it. So, I mean, it's cool to be around Dumpling and to like be with all these guys and legends, to be honest. But yeah, it's super surreal to be around the guys that actually got me into it.
And how did you score his fight tonight?
Hawaiian won that one. If Dumpling would have taken the point for the flinch, he definitely would have been the champion right now.
All right, thank you.
One question here. Do you think that having a long beard reduced the impact of the slap?
To be honest, a lot of people ask me that question. When it comes to having a beard, I think it is more of a risk where you could actually get injured or clubbed a lot easier, because you could hide palming somebody in that beard. So if you go and you lead with your palm, you could kind of hide it if you push up into that beard. So I wouldn't have a beard. I don't plan on growing one anytime soon.
Normally in this fight and previous matches, do you have like some symptoms after having these slaps, or like headache or some other things?
In all my matches, I haven't had a headache. I mean, only a little swollen face for a couple of days and it goes down. I think the worst injury I've ever had was a black eye.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ну, слушаю.
I'm listening.
Dumpling, you've known about the crazy Hawaiian for a long time now. Back to your previous slap fighting experience before joining Power Slap. Did anything surprise you that he brought to the table tonight?
Ты давно знал про Crazy Hawaiian еще до того, как ты начал сражаться в слэп. Что-то сегодня тебя о нем удивило, когда ты с ним был напротив него стоял?
Ничего не удивило, но я думал, он бьет сильнее.
Nothing surprised me, but I thought he hits
Меня
harder.
били сильнее, намного сильнее.
I've been hit harder, way harder.
Как бы просто удар не пошел. Со мной бывает такое, со мной. У меня удар не пошел, со мной такое бывает.
I just couldn't get my hits off.
В следующий раз будет лучше.
Next time it'll be better.
There was a lot of complaining on both sides about chin tucking and shoulder raising. What did he think about the reffing in this match?
Было очень много с обеих сторон претензий насчет поднимания плеч, насчет того, что прятали подбородок. Что ты думаешь по поводу вообще судей в этом матче?
Судьи? Да, непонятное решение.
Не судьи, извини, рефери.
Рефери? Ну, не, какой, который в ринге был?
Говорил поднимать, опускать плечи.
Нет, к нему претензий никаких нету вообще. Типа, ну, все как бы нормально, только, возможно, одна претензия. Правильно, он неправильно нам объяснил, когда он сказал, типа либо очко, либо удар. Мы там все стояли, думали, что нам делать, бить, не бить. Непонятно. В итоге мы приняли решение бить, типа якобы очко снимут, но я так понимаю, возможно, его не сняли, может, сняли, кто его знает. Сейчас непонятно. Как бы, но мне кажется, меня больше как-то он просил плечи, типа, опускать, а говорится, не просил, как бы. В принципе, нормально, как бы. Ну, непонятно, ну, что получилось, то получилось, что бывает, что.
No questions to the ref. Respect to the ref. I think he was a good guy. I think the only question is, took forever to try to understand what the hell he was talking about when it came to taking the point off, not taking the point off, slapping again, not slapping him again. I'm not really understanding whether the point was taken away or not at the end. I think they told me that the point was taken away, but then why is it a draw? I mean, so I think he was actually telling me to put my shoulders down way more than he was telling him to put his shoulders down. But other than that, no questions. Whatever happened. It is what it is.
Is there anything that can be done to help clarify those rules into the next match so that we don't have the same, the same confusion?
Что-то можно сделать для того, чтобы правила и вообще вся эта игра была больше понятна в следующий раз, чтобы не было вот таких вопросов, как произошли во время боя?
Ну, более, наверное, внятно надо объяснять правила. Ну, именно что вот, если вот такой вот вариант просто подходит, чтобы подходил судья, говорил тебе либо очко, либо удар. То он говорит им одно, там другое непонятно. И хотелось бы еще одну вещь сделать, ну, предложение Фрэнку, Даны, что когда у нас происходит взвешивание face-to-face, чтобы на этом кидали монетку. Чтобы, ну, все люди видели, кто будет бить. А то где-то там кто-то решил, что кто-то будет бить. А так будет более красиво и будет честно. Вот мы стоим вдвоем, ну, пусть судья кидает монетку. Упала, камера показала, кто бьет. Все чисто, открыто. У меня нет претензий, что, например, сейчас вот я бил второй, в тот раз я был первый. Ну, просто хочется видеть это. Раньше было, что вот у нас в России и в Польше, потому что они у нас-то приняли, что при нас подкидывали прямо в поединку. Но это как бы затягивает. Можно сделать эту церемонию на взвешивание, и будет более красиво, как бы.
Basically the only thing that I would say is just be a little more clear about the rules. When it came to a situation like we had today, just be super clear about you either hit or you get the point. So there's no like in between. So whatever happened. It took forever for us to get off, to get. The only thing suggestion, Frank, and that was that there should be an televised cost. It's not to fighters. Let the ref throw the coin up. Let us see how the coin lands, and then we know who hits first, who hits second, because we don't know where this coin toss happened, who did the coin toss, who chose who's going first. And this way, I mean, this is the way we used to do it in Poland. Sometimes it would take longer for the show to kick off because they were doing it during the fight, right there. I have no issue with me being the second to go, or the last time I was the first one to go. I don't care, but make it clear, throw the coin up, let everybody see it, and then we know who goes first.
Does a rematch make the most sense for you next?
Реванш – это то, что должно произойти следующим?
Да, незамедлительно. Ну, чем быстрее, тем лучше.
Absolutely, the sooner the better.
Zales is the only person to beat both Dumpling and the Crazy Hawaiian in the past. Are you looking forward to a matchup against Zales one day in the future?
Зейлс в прошлом победил и тебя, и его. Тебе кажется, что тебе стоит сразиться с Зейлс в будущем?
А с Залишем?
Да.
Ну, почему бы нет? Ну, здесь будет правила более жесткие, и вон и тут хитринки Залиша не прокатят, что он вытворял в Польше. Поэтому он сюда и не хочет.
Yeah, of course, that would make total sense, except the tricks, the little games that he was playing back in Poland, they're not going to work here. They'll stop him right away. So that's why he doesn't want to come here, because he knows that he won't play by the rules.
So the last one. When he hears say that the reason that he got in power as far as promotion was in infield.
Когда ты слышишь, что Power Slap из-за тебя, какие чувства у тебя возникают от этого?
Если честно, этот вопрос уже, поднадоел. Каждый не раз его спрашивает. Чувство гордости, что такой человек, как он, такой босс, сделал спорт. Он шоу сделал спорт. Потому что из-за меня, что увидел, как я бью людей.
You know, to be honest, I've answered this question I don't know how many times. It's a bit annoying at this point. Yes, I'm very proud of the fact that somebody like a Dana White, the guy of his caliber, saw a show that he was able to turn into a sport. So that's amazing that he saw me, and I'm proud of it. But the question's been asked.
All right, thank you.
Вопрос. Скажи, пожалуйста, вот ты сказал, что судья какой-то выбор давал или перебивать, или забирать баллы. Если ты все-таки забрал балл, победа была на твоей стороне, может быть, в данной ситуации, когда ты понимал, может, что удар не идет, то лучше было бы все-таки забрать очко, и получилось.
Да.
What do you think if it was very clear to you that there was going to be a point or a slap, if the referee was very clear about what's happening? Do you think if you clearly took the point away, do you think that you would have won?
Да.
Question here?
Well, wait, he says answer.
Нет, как он думает?
Да, сейчас скажу. Но я думаю, что да, если бы я точно знал, если бы сказал бы забрать очко, скорее всего, возможно, я бы выиграл, и поэтому даже, после боя Гавайец это сказал. И когда бой закончился, его угол в красной футболке, чемпион, который среднего веса, или как он там, тоже, он мне поздравил меня, что сказал, что я выиграл. Вот так вот. Судьи решили по-другому, тут уже после драки кулаками не машут. Что есть, то есть. Надо, нам всегда надо нокаутировать, чтобы не было вопросов.
Yeah, I think definitely if there was a clear point takeaway, which I'm sure it might have been, but if it was very clear that the point was taken away, then I think that I would have won. Hawaiian said something about points afterwards when we shook hands after the fight. And then even his coach, the red corner coach, told me that I won. So it wasn't clear.
Ты понимаешь, почему у тебя не пошел удар? С чем это связано? Переволновался? Или он какой-то неудобный? Или из-за большой бороды, может, как-то челюсть не видно или что-то там?
Do you know why you couldn't get off? You couldn't get the right hit? Was it because he's uncomfortable to hit? Was it because of the big beard? What, you couldn't see the chin? What was the deal?
Он неудобно стоит, у него неудобная стойка, и сразу не задалось. Не пошло, бывает такая штука. Частенько у меня. Если прет, то прет, если не прет, то не прет. Главное, что держак остался.
It's his stance, I think. He's very uncomfortable for me, the way he stands. But it happens, it happens a lot. Sometimes I can't get off the hit the right way. And then sometimes it goes, sometimes it pours out, sometimes it doesn't pour out. So sometimes it happens.
Вась, приветствую тебя. Вот в перерывах, точнее после того, как наносил удары Гавайец, ты ему старался так его немножко выводить на эмоции и сам, возможно, выводился на эмоции. Почему всегда после того, как пропускал, показывал ему то язык, то как-то так его пытался чуть раздразнить?
In between rounds after you took a hit, you constantly were trying to provoke some kind of emotions from him. You stuck your tongue out at him, you smiled at him, whatever. You were trying to get some sort of emotions out of him. You were also getting a little bit emotional. Why was that a thing that you were doing? Why were you trying to get something out of him?
Я его никак не хотел разозлить, я просто улыбался ему, говорил, и чё, и все.
I had nothing. I wasn't trying to get something out of him. I just smiled at him and I said, "So what? Is that it?"
Вась, еще ты перед турниром говорил, что непонятна была ситуация с флагами, можно, нельзя выходить. В итоге ты вышел с флагом. Расскажи, когда именно ты понял, что можно будет выносить флаг, и насколько для тебя это было важно?
Before the fight, you said that there was some sort of a situation with the Russian flag. You said that at first it was not okay for you to come out with it. Then eventually you actually did come out with it. So do you know what? Can you tell us exactly when it was clear for you that the flag was approved?
Стало известно после взвешивания, потому что я пришел на взвешивание с флагом, не разрешили. Я начал там спорить, почему нельзя. В Абу-Даби типа выходят наши, показывал фотку Александра Волкова, Шары Буллета, что вот они вот с флагами выходят. И Фрэнд сказал, я разберусь и дам тебе ответ. И вот где-то в обед после взвешивания он сказал, что тебе можно русский флаг. Вот. Для меня это большая гордость.
You know, it was I knew about it after the weigh-ins. So during the weigh-ins, there was the thing where I was told, no, I'm not allowed. So I came into the weigh-ins with the flag, but I wasn't allowed to go out and weigh in with the flag. So I was asking why. I went to Frank. I asked him what the deal was. I told him that Alexander Volkov here came out with it. Sharabul came out with it, that in Abu Dhabi, a Russian flag is okay. And so Frank said that he was going to take care of it. And sometime around lunchtime is when he texted and said, you can come out with a flag.
И последний вопрос. Вот перед началом схватки, получается, Гавайец себя так вел чуть эмоционально, немножко игрался с залом, тебя где-то пытался спровоцировать. Ты стоял прям очень и очень спокойно. А расскажи, что у тебя в этот момент в голове происходило?
Before the fight, the Hawaiian came out and he was kind of a little bit of a showman. He was playing off the crowd. He was trying to look at you, get some emotions out of you. And you were very stoic. You were very focused. So can you tell us what goes through your head before the fight?
Я просто фокусировался как бы на себе и цирк не показывал, что я ж не клоун.
I was just focused on myself. I wasn't in a circus. I'm not a clown. I don't need to make any faces.
Hi, Dumpling. Question here. Do you think that the crazy Hawaiian, the way he moves between the rounds and his facial expressions affect the judges' scorecards?
Как ты думаешь, то, как себя ведет Crazy Hawaiian между раундами, его выражение лица, каким-то образом влияет на судей и их решения в итоге?
Не знаю, вообще не знаю. Я в принципе не наблюдал, что он там делает. Маленечко там что-то танцует, орет.
I don't know. I actually wasn't really paying attention to what he's doing. What does he dance? He screams. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like dancing and cheering with the audience.
Да, он танцевал и заводил зал.
Молодец.
Great job.
Okay, last question. If you have the authority to add one more rule to the set of rules that we have in Power Slap, or remove one rule, what would you do?
Если бы у тебя была возможность и полномочия одно правило или добавить в Power Slap, или одно правило убрать из Power Slap, что бы это было за правило?
Ну, правило первого удара, вот про монетку, как я говорил, вот, монетку было бы интересно, и просто вот, ну, как бы вот судьи, они очень много нам рассказывали, как надо стоять, как надо бить, но это, не буду материться, оленю понятно, как это надо бить и все остальное делать. Вот именно вот этот подсчет очков, это уже более тонкости. Вот эти тонкости надо рассказывать спортсменам, угловым, чтобы было все понятно. А как бить, мы и так знаем, как бить. Раз показали, и все. Что там 10 раз одно и то же жевать.
Well, maybe that coin toss rule that I was talking about at the beginning. But the other thing is that when it comes to the rules, we were told the rules 25 minutes in a row, over and over again, how to hit. What is the way to hit? But we all know it. Anybody knows how to hit. You show us one time, and this is how you hit. But what would be important is if they could tell us about the scoring, how the scoring is done, when is the point taken, who gets the 10, who gets the 9. That part is very important to us. We know how to hit already.
That's a great answer. Thank you.
And the last one, if you don't mind. The last one. Тебе Дэна Уайт подошел сразу после объявления результатов. Расскажи, что он тебе говорил. Понятно, что через переводчика, но о чем был разговор?
Dana White was talking to you right after the results were announced. Obviously, we're talking through a translator, but could you tell us what the conversation was about?
Ну, можно, да, сказать, по идее.
Думаю, да.
Ну, он сказал, что я выиграл по Бислингу. Ну, но это толку с этого нету. И он сказал, что он не заплатит как за победу. Вот и все. Я ему сказал спасибо, пожали руки и сказал, встретимся ли мы еще. Он сказал, да. Ну, типа, вот в этот уикенд. То, что я сказал, у меня для тебя есть презент.
А можешь рассказать, что за презент?
А потом увидите.
He came up to me and he told me that according to Bisping's scorecard, I won. And then he also told me that he'll pay me my win money as well. And then I asked him if we were going to see each other this weekend at all. And he said yes. And I told him that I have a present for him. And the question was, what is the present? Can you tell us what the present is? And the answer is, you'll see.
Спасибо большое.
Да не за что. Вам спасибо.
Thank you.
Валим.
That bro looks good next to me, does it?
The Crazy Hawaiian.
What's up, Corey?
For a very long time. Anything surprised to me?
He should have hit harder. Yes, times he hit me, and I didn't rock, I didn't buzz. He didn't even do anything to me. I don't think anybody can. I might have to move down to heavyweight and take out the belt.
This is the first time we've seen you flinch. Did you think he was going to strike harder?
It came as a surprise to me. I had to watch it back myself. I really felt like I didn't flinch, and then I watched it back, and I agreed. I had flinched at least one time, but I don't know about the other time.
I mean, this entire fight week, it was the most calm, cool, collected that I've ever seen you in any fight. Talk to me about the mentality and the state that you were in going into this matchup.
I mean, I usually have a big posse with me, my brothers around me, camera crews and all that. And I came here, just me and God. It was solid. My head was clear. I know what I had to do. I just didn't expect him to eat them shots like the way he did.
Talk to me about the chin placement of Dumpling, because you were speaking to the refs a lot about it between rounds. And did they actually get it right in the end?
I think the fifth round, he that was if he stood like that on every round, I think I would have at least stumbled him back, dropped him or something, because his shoulders was up and then it came down. He was trying to put it back up, came down, trying to put it up, and then he, I don't know if it's just thing, but I think they're scared of the chin. They know something, huh?
Do you agree with this being a draw?
He went on if he didn't take those stops, to be honest. I think I think he got it confused. So I don't know, his corner, everybody in his corner, his coach, they should have told him that I had the chin that I have, and he should have not take those extra slaps, to be honest. I felt like if I had to judge it by points, and he might have came away with the belt, but it is where it's supposed to be.
James Siekmann earlier talked about the box being too small for the bigger guys to properly deliver a strike. Do you believe that's true?
No, absolutely not. I've been delivering strikes to people. I've been dropping people. Everything here in Power Slap doesn't need to be worked on. It's the people that come up and try the sport out. We got it all figured out here at Power Slap.
What makes the most sense for you next?
I mean, we obviously want that rematch. It has to happen. I don't think there's anything else for me. I don't think I need to call anybody out. People laugh at me when I say I'm going to go down, drop down to heavyweight. The amount of people doubt me is crazy because anything is possible. Anything possible.
The crowd was chanting one more round. Dana talked in his press conference about potentially going back to Nevada and seeing if that rule could be changed. Would you be for that?
I will be for that because it's like in football where we get, overtime. Let's implement that. We all don't want to see a draw. We don't want to see a real winner. I think the only people that are winning here tonight is the crowd because they're all amazing and they witnessed a show. I very much gave them their money's worth.
One last one for you. Where do you prefer competing? In America or over here in Abu Dhabi?
I would love to compete in Hawaii. That would be nice, huh? What do you guys think? Everybody want to come to Hawaii? Right? This place is amazing. There's nothing like anywhere else I've ever been. I love this place. It's got to be in my top 1 or 2 places to be. So I'll gladly come back over here. The people are great. The hospitality is great. Everything is great. And respect goes a long way here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Corey, for Slap News, the one and only. Y'all hire this guy. Put him on a play role. I don't know what you guys doing. Wasting you guys' time over here.
Right in the front. When we cover MMA and there's, a reigning champion that, they can admit, maybe I should have lost this if it was a draw or anything. And it almost stings worse than if they had just been put out, like they knew they lost. Is there any similar thoughts? I would have been okay if I had lost, if he had put me away, but just the draw makes it sting a little more.
Oh, I really thought that they were going to give it to him anyway on the stage. And I yelled at Dana, Frank, and Erica. I said, no matter the outcome, I go out with, and the rematch has to happen because he had nothing to me. He didn't face me. I think he used the table quite a few times to hold himself up. And I think the refs, the officials, they need to see that. They need to see that and, at least give him a 8 count, because having a table hold you up after you're getting slapped, I think that's, if you're leaning on it, I don't know. That's something we got to really look into.
There was a lot of, you guys were making faces at each other, kind of just playing into each other's personalities, but you both said he thought he won, you thought he was kind of holding himself up. Will there be less of that the next time, just strictly business, I want to put this guy away?
Yeah, I wanted to prove a point. People ask me, oh, do you train for this? I really don't. It's a natural thing. I just come out here, do my thing. Imagine if I did train, how unfair it would be for everybody. So the next time I come out here is going to be different because I'm not going to want to go and leave it to the judges. And I know I have to train.
Last one for me. We saw the video of you and Max greeting each other in the hallway at the hotel. What was it like, finally running into him after the story you told us from high school?
Yeah, I never saw him since that time. And to see him and ask him, because I remember that. I don't know if he remembered. So I asked him, you remember that?
He remembered. We talked to him at Media Day.
All right, he remembers. It was surreal because, he's a walking legend. People consider me one, but I'm humble enough to take whatever people want to call me. He is the definition of a living legend, and it was an honor just to be in his presence, just to see him, honor him in all his glory, and just to shake his hand, man. It's like shaking God's hand. You know what I mean?
The Crazy Hawaiian.
Yes, sir.
Hi. First of all, I have a question. What motivates you to continue doing what you are doing? Maybe some conservative people would say in the long run, you may have some health issues or concussions. What motivates you? Is it to be the toughest on planet Earth or?
Listen, numbers don't lie. I take 7 slaps to the face. How much you think Max Holloway is going to take to everywhere else? It's a sport that's being looked at, concentrated about being hit in the head, but you got unanswered punches, unanswered blows in MMA fights. No one's saying anything because it's so entertaining, right? This is going to be entertaining for a long time, and I'm going to be the champ for a long time. I'm going to go down to a double champ because I don't think nobody's touching this belt, at least. I'm going to, there's no one else for me, I got to go, get my health back in line. I don't feel like I even got slapped in the face right now. So to all those naysayers, all those people that are saying this is a CTE thing, I don't know. Do a CTE test for me. I've been doing it longer than anybody in the sport. I've been doing it longer than any of these people on the roster. Come do a test on me. See if I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the numbers don't lie. You see all these people boxing, kickboxing, all sports, they get hit the head over and over and over again per round. I got hit 7 times, and I didn't feel any of it.
Great. Another question. In a street fight, which martial art you feel is the best to knock out your opponent? Is it boxing, power slap, maybe?
Hawaiian martial arts. You laugh, but it's a real thing. Art of bone breaking and pressure points. I can take out someone's life just by thinking about it, but I don't because I'm a godly man and I'm a good person. Hawaiian martial arts over everything.
Today I saw an interview with Rio, and you told him about your training routine, and one of the things that you are training is to put your wife on your neck. Can you elaborate more about this?
Yeah, you know when you put your kids on your neck?
Yeah.
You ever put your kid on your neck and hold their legs? I put my wife on my neck, and you know, I move my head around, turn her around. And I eat that, you know what I mean? Just like the dumpling.
Just lost one down here at your left. Yeah, speaking of eating, you mentioned going down to heavyweight. What kind of lifestyle changes is that going to consist of?
I just have to, you know, stop the late night snacks. After I eat it again. So I just have to eat better. The 100%. This is not just the thing that I do. I ate a box of pizza before I got here. I should have brought it up here and ate it in front of you guys. You know?
Do you know the most calories you've had in a day?
I probably intake 20. That's not even a joke. You should see me eat breakfast. Thank you guys. Shout out to my sponsors, Old School, Derm Dude. Hey, I'm not joking about this. Hire Slap News right now. You guys are sleeping on this guy.